Hello and welcome back to London Invite 2023. My name is Sean Colfer, joined by Hannah Pendlebury to commentate this game between Germany Open and France Open Masters. Two teams with very different season plans. One preparing for an event in just under a month, one preparing for an event in October. So very different points of their season. We will see how the game goes. Germany starting us off on offense. Nico Müller on disc in the centre of the field. France starting out with a zone. Moved over to the far sideline. Greenwald on the near sideline. France staying in this zone. Müller with the disc. Greenwald. Gaffney on the disc for the transition. Goes to Doscher. Puts a Müller on the far side. Philip K beats his man up line. On the sideline. Good throw back into the middle to Doscher. And Doscher puts it up in the air, but nice and easy for Hartley Greenwald to reel in. And a good clean hold for Germany. That is 1-0 to them.
Yeah, just pretty much like a warm knife through butter, that offense. It didn't really have too much stagnation, just calm, patient, should we say efficient?
Yeah. At the risk of veering into
stereotypes.
Yes, the German offense was very efficient there.
No, it's a delight to see Germany Open out on a pitch finally in front of a live stream. It's been a little while since we've seen them. I know many of the teams here tipped the German Open program as their most excited to play against opponents. And of course, it's because they've got dynamic talent. We don't have some of the players out on the pitch because, of course, the likes of, as we lovingly call him, Quadzilla himself, Konrad Schlor, not feeling too tippy-top today, so taking a bit more of a rest. But you've got Buitenmullers, you've got Müllers. In fact, you've got all three of the Buitenmuller brothers.
Yep, all here. Yeah. Nice to see Holger back from his injury. As we see France's O-line for the first time.
Indeed, he's still as good as he ever was.
Absolutely. On this near side, Tessier. Around the mark. But a good poach block there from Linemanstons. Just read the play immediately. The throw around to Maurice. Doesn't quite get there. It's a nice block, and Germany's O-line is going to get its first look at this. Schultz on the disc. Waldvogel up line. Good D from France Masters. Schultz still on the disc, looking for options. High stall, goes to Felix Martin. Can't reel it in, it's just too far away. Really, really good, intense D from the French O-line on the turn there. But unfortunately for them, just trying to push it a little too far, and Guillot can't quite find his man on the front corner of the end zone. Quite a frantic point so far, Hannah.
Yeah, I think I was trying to connect with Francois Zoubir, who you can see sort of stutter stepping towards that goal that's on the far sideline. Of course, this is Grasshoppers RFC, so Rugby Football Club.
So Germany's D-line back with the disc in their own end zone. Martin goes back to Wolf. Lots of space for Linemanstons out of the end zone there. Moving it much better now. Waldvogel on the disc. Wolf back to Waldvogel. Waldvogel has Schultz deep. Doesn't want that. They are continuing to churn it underneath. And that is a spicy throw over the top. It looked as though they were able to kind of keep that continuation going, and Basov just tried to push it a little too far.
Well, maybe this might be a downfall for the German Open program. We haven't, as I said, seen them come out too much in terms of, playing the elite club tournaments in Europe ahead of their EUC campaign. And Waldvogel, I believe, is a bad skid player, not quite connecting with Vlad Basov, of course, of Wall City.
So France Masters with their third possession of this opening O point. Moving the disc nicely now. It's with Amadou on the far side. Amadou looks deep. He has a man there, and it is reeled in by number 123, which is a new one on me, Enrique Romero.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the triple number jersey.
I haven't seen many.
Yeah, can I say kind of thankfully, Sean?
I think so, yeah.
It's a bit of a tricky one for us here in the booth, but yeah, Romero, formerly of Wizards, and actually played some Ultimate down in Venezuela, would you believe, for the Mavericks.
You'll have to bear with us slightly with the French Masters. There are some players wearing the same numbers. There's a lot of you see some French kit, but you also see some club kit. As I said early on in their season, I'm sure they haven't had their kit order yet. So I'm sure they haven't had their kit order, so they are not fully ready to go, as the Germans are. The Germans all looking very uniform.
Yeah, what do you think of this new German uniform?
I like it.
I did on paper. I hated it, but actually in person, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it does look good. Looks good. It's not their usual style, but I quite like it. I like the red trim. That pull sails. I was going to say sails out of bounds, but it was pretty close by the end there. It just landed on the line, I think. So Nico Müller, stalwart of the German Open program, one of the best handlers around, goes to pick it up and will bring it to the Britmark.
Indeed, he was a player to shut down, definitely subject to some assassination efforts at the World Games last season.
Yeah.
Really big part of that German World Games team.
So it's another zone from the French Open team. Over to Kay, back to Müller. Bit more of an expansive option over the top, but France are able to reset the zone. Müller in the middle, Kay on this near side. Looking for options. France staying in the zone. Müller with the disc. So Gaffney to Müller. Finds Greenwald. Philip Kay with the disc on the near sideline, looking to get off the line. Beautiful move from Müller. They play it up the sideline. Gaffney in the middle. It's a really nice cut out of the end zone from Greenwald, and a nice, easy score into the end zone for Kay. Another very efficient, very effective offense from the German O-line there.
Yeah, I like the change in terms of the transition was good on that point. Certainly the most uncomfortable the German O-line looked was when it was match coverage, sort of towards the kind of final third of the pitch, but it doesn't really look like at the moment the French have been able to really do anything to penetrate through the kind of, fort that is the German Open offense. Nice easy one there for the catch for Philip Kay. And also, hello to Phil Kay's dad, who apparently has been really enjoying the coverage coming out of various broadcasting companies for Ultimate. So shout out Phil Kay's dad.
Hello, Mr. Kay. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it was. I think as we go along, the rest of the game, the French D, I imagine, is going to change a bit. I think with how good the Germans are on the disc, you need to ask questions, you need to put them into uncomfortable situations, and they were just able to play a bit of pitch and catch, lob it about a bit at the back. Not really in any stressful situations. You're going to need to put some more stress on that German O-line. They're too talented not to.
Yeah, and I think the key to that is probably playing some very intense match defense, which, not saying that Masters age athletes are not incapable of playing very intense match defense, as to Masters age athletes ourselves, Sean, but certainly it's hard to hang tough with the seniors.
I'm incapable of playing intense match defense some of the time, so I feel the pain. It's a long shot there, and an absolutely fantastic take from Kevin Ou, the captain of this team. Went deep, had two German defenders trailing him, one putting on intense pressure, and he's able to rise up, high point it, snatch it out of the air. That's a much easier hold for the French O-line than we saw first time out.
Yeah, Kevin Ou is really one of those players that you can just put the team on his shoulders. Previously, of course, is no good on the French team, but also has played himself in London, so maybe a bit of advantage of course, because he used to play for Fire back in the day.
Still plays for Fire. He's the captain of Fire this season as well.
Oh, well, there you go. In fact, I think he's one of the reasons why some people are playing to stay with Fire, now that you remind me.
Yeah.
But a nice little shot there of our lovely faces, but of course, hard-working stats man Ed alongside us in a fantastic choice of fashion of a Sun hoodie. I'm exceptionally jealous, because I'm just wearing a long sleeve that doesn't have a hood, and I'm starting to feel the heat on the back of my neck, you know?
I'm built for summer, so this is not a problem for me. The Irish skin that my forefathers have passed on to me is actually not that bad in the sun. I've won that lottery. My sister, on the other hand, lost that lottery quite badly. But
well, only one person can win the lottery, so I hear.
True. So that was me.
But at the moment, it is the French Masters team who really need to try and do something to indeed put that heat, that blowtorch on the back of the neck of the Germans. They're very difficult to unsettle, though. Although there's a wrist brace on the right hand of Christian Gaffney.
Yeah. Nico Muller with the disc again, bringing it back into the brick mark. Another pull that's gone out of bounds. Couple of pulls, trying to just push it a little too far, and it's just trailed out on the far side. And we have switched to more of a match look for the French Open Masters here. So Greenwald on this near sideline. It's been some kind of miscommunication, and it's now with Nico Muller. It looks like a different kind of zone. It's Stef Doscher on this near side.
Yeah, it's a fake out. It looks like it could be zone, but it's actually not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not.
Gaffney up on that far sideline in Buttenmuller's hands. Looking for Muller. Muller with the disc in his hands. So Holger Buttenmuller, a throw they've done hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Nico Muller to Holger Buttenmuller on the front cone, and Germany 3-2 up, and still don't look enormously challenged by the French D, although it was a different look from the French there.
Yeah, I like that adjustment and change. Again, though, not really causing a concern per se for Germany's open team. It's just a case of, all right then, we'll go with play number 4 out of a billion.
Yeah, it looked as though it was kind of more like an FSU, but not quite an FSU. It was definitely matching up front with trying to pass people off further down the field. And Germany were able to find a few poachers, find a few open players, and work it pretty comfortably down that sideline until we got to the end zone, and a nice throw from Nico Muller, who, as Hannah said earlier, had a brilliant season last year, played really, really well at the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. He's been around this Germany team for several cycles now. Was one of the key parts of the team as they made a run to the final last time out in Győr.
Indeed, kind of an excellent time.
They'll be looking to go one better when they get to Limerick, losing on Universe last time out. So a roller pull that France stop and managed to keep in bounds. Moving it up the field. Over on this side to Dello. Dello looking to get it off the line. Goes all the way inside to Nguyen. France moving it nicely against this German match. With Gello. Back to Nguyen. On the near side with Macon. Big beard attempt. And going with the disc just outside the end zone in the center of the field. Around break, just too far away from his receiver. Looks like the other Nguyen just couldn't quite get there. Dropped in front of him, and it's a turnover for the Germans. They have a full field to go, but another attempt or another go for the German D-line to try and convert one of these break chances. Marvin Valvogel. This swings all the way over to Schultz. Turns down that movement in front of the disc. Looks backwards instead. This now with Wolf. So Schultz and back to Wolf. Space downfield for Lindemann. It looked as though there was going to be a poach attempt by one of the French defenders, but good angle on the cut. There was no attempt for the defender to get there. And Wolf was a little isolated there. Valvogel marked that very well by Gello at the back. And a turnover, and the French O-line have it back. They've been doing a very good job of getting the disc back when they've been turning it, Anna.
Yeah, I mean, you always are going to try and flood your O-line with the best players you have. And, you know, which will be a surprise to nobody. When you're good at playing offense, you tend to be also quite good at playing defense, because it's usually a marker of how long your career has been and how storied.
So back to Nguyen in the center of the field. Over to Nguyen. Drop there, and it looks as though he's come down quite hard on his hand or his arm. Michon looks to be in some pain there.
Yeah, that does not look very comfortable at all. We will get a second look at the replay. Makes the catch, and then just bobbles around and just action rolls over his own paws. Or is it the leg? No, it looks to be the leg actually, not the hands. Just hands clutched in. Pain and uncomfortableness. Well, we do have several various physios around at the pitches here, so hopefully we'll see Michon, I think that is in number 95, Etienne Michon, okay, unable to recover. Attended to immediately by, it looks to be Becquet.
Yeah, Becquet Chagnon has gone over there. As we said, France's O-line have been turning over but doing a good job of getting it back. It's another turn there, but thankfully it looks as though Michon is able to walk off without too much assistance. Hopefully he's okay.
Indeed, and I say who will be attended to by the local medical staff. Of course, an important part of being a UK affiliated event, which this is, the UK Ultimates. Obviously, the federation here locally is you obviously have to have suitable insurance and medical staff at hand, so he will be attended to in the clubhouse.
So it looks as though there's a foul call, and it did look as though Michon's kind of heels were clipped as he was going for the disc, so Becquet Chagnon is going to pick it up, and Germany have taken the opportunity to bring on Sam Buitenmuller as well, so they've made a substitution at the same time. So Becquet Chagnon with the disc. It's a good hand on from Sam Buitenmuller, justifying his substitution. They brought him on and he's got the block. So Wolf coming over to the disc. Germany in this 2-5 vertical set. Good catch by Basov. Looking to get off the sideline. Goes to Buitenmuller. Buitenmuller around. Loads of space up there for Marquant. Linnemanston to Wolf. Looking for an option to the end zone. Linnemanston hits the front corner. Valvogel as well. Valvogel comes back for the disc. Tries to go around the force, and it's a beautifully placed throw around the mark to Hartmann for the German score, and that is the German D-line's first break of the game.
Yeah, they finally get one. They've had a good couple of opportunities come their way so far in this match, both in the same point, because it's obviously very early stages, just 4-2 the score, but they had two opportunities to break the French masters in the second point of this game, so nice to see them able to do it a little bit more cleanly. That's still in the second asking. Maybe they can get a fully clean one, but a bad skid connection. Marvin Waldvogel finding Marcel Hartmann. Two teammates coming out of that bad skid side. Of course, they were bested when we saw bad skids opening tournament this season by Jet Set from Leuven.
Yeah.
Back at the spring invite, where there was only, of course, one berth for the Leuven event because it was much smaller division-wise, just hosted the open division, rather than those two wildcard EUCF spots. But I'm sure we'll see bad skid qualifying through.
You would expect so. They've got so many good players, so many players with a lot of chemistry. Obviously, the Buitenmullers, Muller, Waldvogel. We've had Stef Doscher playing with them as well. So I'd imagine we're going to be seeing them later in the European season. But for now, we are looking for German Open D-line to come out and try and get a second break of the game. They've come with a relatively short squad here with the three people who are out, two ill, one injured. As Hannah said, Conrad Schleur, he's here and he's ill.
I like you calling him Schleur, like he's a fizzy drink, but he is bubbly on the pitches and certainly very exciting.
It's the French Masters O-line. With there's a pick pretty much as Kevin who caught it, so we're going to reset. France in this 3-4 horizontal, and Germany with just a strong match. Coming in on one, looks like. Goes with the deep shot. Schultz is in the area. seemed to have position pretty much the whole way, Schultz. He had the height advantage as well over Zach Alez. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. That could happen during this game at some point. But seems to have the height in that matchup. Sat a little bit, positioned himself well, and knocked it away. So Marvin Waldvogel, part of the O-line when Germany reached the final of EUC last cycle, on the D-line this time around. Nothing upfield, so resets it. Wow. Over the building. It looks as though Wolf tried to throw kind of an inside-out backhand, and the mark got a hand on it, and the position of his body changed, and he just lobbed it over the building.
Well, that's one of the most curious things I've seen so far this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that one might be lost to the roof of the Grasshoppers RFC building.
It's an uncontested foul, looks like. Although the motion they're making is a contested uncontest. So hand signal's not quite right there. But it's coming back in on 0 with Wolf on that far sideline. Wolf finds Basov. Really good handler D there, but Germany able to reset, and Wolf to Waldvogel. Waldvogel with the disc. Fakes that deep shot. It's Felix Martin.
Yeah,
Martin looking back. Nice throw back to Wolf. More really good handler defense from the French Open Masters, doing a very good job of extending these stalls for Germany. But reset back into the middle for Felix Martin. Stack a long way away for Germany. Lovely inside throw, Wolf. Martin again. Back to Wolf.
Ooh, that's some loose footwork. He took about 3-4 extra steps.
It's Waldvogel to Wolf. Wolf looking into the end zone, but it's just kind of sitting in the wind. And that is a great layout to catch it. Looked like it was going to be a turnover, but Nick Schultz throws himself at it and scoops it just off the turf, although they'll have a conversation about it.
Yeah, that was a big old rescue if that came off good. It was behind the cluster of the pack, so I'm not sure if we'll get the cleanest of replays, but certainly not the intended throw for Wolf for sure. Let's have a little look.
Just sails.
Oh,
that's very tight, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to really get that on a choppy freeze frame.
Very tight. I thought from here that Schultz caught it with both hands, but it looks like it's just his left.
Yeah, just that left palm.
So maybe there is some contact with the ground. Tough to tell. Tough to tell.
Well, I tell you who loves watching a live stream back frame by frame and playing at-home video referee. It's Christian Gaffney.
We have players surrounding us here, looking at screens, looking at replays. Just frame by frame, slowing it all the way down.
That doesn't look great in the frame by frame. It doesn't look great.
It looks like the players are all agreeing that it is down. Some nice spirit having looked at the screen here. It looks as though it does touch the ground just before Schultz gets his left hand underneath it. So an admirable effort to try and rescue that throw that sat in the wind from Wolf, but it does look as though it is a turnover for the German D-line, and the French will have another go at it.
Yep, you make your own luck. Certainly right place, right time, but just not quite early enough on that scoop to make it good. But that would have been a very cool thing to get a 3 on the bounce for the Germans. I think at the moment they still are looking, a little bit of a, not head and shoulders above their opponents, but certainly, they've got some breathing room at the moment. And of course, that one break from the previous point, but an early turnover, Sean. Tessier coming a bit unglued.
Yeah, just a simple drop. Got both hands on it, couldn't quite reel it in. So Waldvogel now with the disc just outside the end zone in the center of the field. And that is just an open side cut from Kenny Marquardt. And it is another goal for Germany, 3 in a row. And their D-line looks to be firing on all cylinders at the moment, putting on very intense pressure, getting turnovers, and forcing France into some uncomfortable situations.
Although, interestingly, Marvin Voldvogel is looking quite uncomfortable himself in terms of how his sort of facial expression is. When he's pump faking there before he throws that assist to Marquardt. It's he's looking like he's working really, really hard out there. So that is definitely a plus point for the French. That match defence is starting to just, sitting on the back shoulders of the German Open players, perhaps almost playing a little bit of team defence help for Germany's later opponents today, as you already mentioned, Sean. Quite a short roster for them. They are all obviously capable and talented athletes at the top of their athletic prowess. But I think when you counted it, maybe it was 16 players that they've got.
Yep, 16 players with Stefan Kuhn is here. He's on the sideline with his hand in a cast. It looks as though he's hurt his thumb. So given how that looks, I would say he might struggle to get back for EUC, which is a shame. Conrad Schloor, as we said, he's ill, so he's not around. And then Joel Ben Joseph also here, also feeling under the weather, so not playing.
Indeed, and massive shout out to Joel Ben Joseph, who of course is an ULTI.TV content producer. He clips up together some of our highlight reels, some of our social media. You don't have to be a commentator or a camera operator to get yourself into our team. That's a lovely pull.
Lovely pull, lands in and just trails out the sideline. So France in on the front cone of the end zone. Tough situation to be in, especially with how this German D is playing. Oh, and it's a really close look at a D there, but France with the disc in the middle of the field. Zubir swings it out to this near side. Back to Zubir. Big shot goes up. And it's knocked away. Knocked away. Linnemann gets his hand on it. There looks like there's a call further down the pitch, but I'm not sure that's going to change anything. I think that's Dieterl who went deep. We do have 2 88s though, Hannah. So
no, that is Francis D'Italy.
It's D'Italy.
He actually was raised in North America. Another of our ULTI.TV crew, as it turns out. He actually commentated in Leuven. Well, yeah, if you're not playing, you might as well come out to a tournament and enjoy the scenes and give your knowledge.
So
but by choice, not by injury.
No. The German D-line coming back out here. Marvin Voldvogel with the disc again. Turns down that deep shot. Instead comes underneath to Buitenmuller, but can't quite get there. So France with another look at this. Zubir with the disc. And back to him. And we come back to Guido. Zubir. Goes to Dunant. And Dunant to... Can't quite see who that is.
Maël Maurice, I believe.
There we go. Blocking
Spinning
my view.
All the way around the world.
With a spin move to get free on the front corner of the end zone, and France able to get on the board and stop that little run for Germany. Just an unusual, a rare mistake by Marvin Voldvogel. Just turfing it, and France Masters taking full advantage of that opportunity. It's a good catch in the end, just a little bit behind him, spins around to secure it.
Well, keeping this game interesting. We got into a nice little rhythm there. I think still, there's questions being asked of Germany's O-line, but they are more or less finding the answers to them. It's just a case of brushing up those personal errors.
Yeah, the deal on offense, very efficient. We've seen Germany's O-line, I think, a few times now, and they've put it in every time, so they're looking to carry that on. Pretty similar looking line to what we've seen before.
And the German D-line, it has to be said, they actually are way more efficient when they throw fewer passes.
Yeah.
Certainly their breaks have been given to them when they've thrown less than double digits. Whenever it's risen beyond 10, that's when they are ending up turning over.
Yeah, when France are kind of containing them. We saw a couple of bigger shots go up, and they were taken down with reasonable ease, but France doing a decent job containing the D-line offense. Let's see how they do with the O-line. Paul Sales out the back, so Nico Müller again brings it to the Brickmark, and we're back to this 3-person cup for France. Müller back to Gaffney. Buitenmuller pretty straightforward zone, but Holger Butenmuller finds space, pops it up to his brother Sam. Holger Butenmuller now, and France change their offense, but Germany are moving through the gears. Nico Müller on the sideline. That continuation flow stopped. Gaffney cuts into a space, but Butenmuller's trying to get there at the same time. Holger Butenmuller over to the far side. Greenwald goes to Gaffney in the center. There's a pit call, but it looks like it's going to stay with Gaffney. Mark's going to catch up slightly. We're back in match now. So Gaffney with the disc in the center of the field. No stall. Gaffney back to Holger Butenmuller. Holger goes to Nico Müller. Müller with the disc. Philip K cuts across to get it. Looks down the line for that inside shot, not there. Müller back with it in the center. Greenwald. Good. Undercut from Sam Butenmuller, who goes across to try and get to his brother Holger. Fantastic layout catch from Holger Butenmuller to secure possession. Looked like it might be drifting out of his reach, but extends those long arms, brings it in, finds Nico Müller, and Nico Müller gets it to Michael Butenmuller for the score. A Butenmuller party, another German hold, and that is 6-3.
A Butenmuller party. I like that as a concept. All right, if the trio of Butenmuller brothers are hosting a little party for their bad skid friends and they invite you along, Sean, what do you bring to that party? Because they are bringing everything right now to this game.
Beer? I don't know. They're German? I assume they like beer. I don't really have much else to offer that the Butenmullers don't already have, to be fair, in terms of what they've got on the field. They've
but
already...
off the pitch, what do you bring to try and impress them? What's your go-to move?
I'll think about my answer to that while we take a little break, because I believe that Germany have called a timeout. So Germany with a nice run. They are at 6-3, and when we come back, I'll let you know what I bring to the Butenmuller party.
I like that. Keep them in suspense. Keep them in suspense.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
And we are back. I've decided that if there was a Butenmuller party, I'd bring my rapier wit and some beer. That would be what I'd be bringing. Even if we are playing, all I'm offering is rapier wit beer. I'm offering nothing physically. So that's my decision. That's final. And that's where we are moving from, Hannah.
And to clarify for those of you who find English sometimes a little bit challenging, a rapier is a type of sword.
Yes, very sharp. Much like my wit.
Yes, but sometimes the way you deliver your sharp wit, Sean, it's got to sit for a little while and simmer.
That's the best kind of wit, and while that's the best kind of wit, that doesn't appear to me to be a very good bid, and we have a bit of a stoppage and an injury call just coming in from the blind side. The disc is there, but the French player doesn't really know that's coming, and some contact.
Yeah, Tazio Torrieri there, coming off the pitch. A long-time PUC Puck athlete, Paris, of course, Ultimate Team. Played with them World Masters clubs back in 2022. Oh, sorry, no. Played 2021 even with World Master Championship. They came 17th in the end. Didn't quite hit the expectations that we had for them going into the tournament.
So we're back with the France Masters O-line. And going in the middle. Comes over on this near side. Alès. And Goyen. France finding some room here. It's with U in the middle. Just moves the mark. Alès comes to this near side. Germany seems to be transitioning to something now. A lot of switching and moving around. Leonard. Goes over to Carriol. Alès with the disc. U goes to the end zone. Threads a needle. Great throw. Much cleaner offense from the France Masters O-line there. Putting in that point and managing to find space despite a couple of changes of D from Germany.
Yeah, really great adjustments and adaptability shown, as you say, that last throw. I'm not sure who was tasked with matching up against Kevin O, but they were definitely nowhere to find. It's more like, kind of like, you know, U being the word of where is your mark? Kevin, where is your mark? I think it was Marquardt, was it?
Yeah, Marquardt's just looking at the disc. You can see he just gets caught peeking at the disc rather than at his man. And U takes the advantage, shades one way. Marquardt looks over his right shoulder, and U has already gone. And he's in the end zone for the score. So 6-4 to the Germans. We'll see their O-line come back out. France have leaned on those transition zone looks so far. We'll see what we come out with this time. But a very familiar German O-line out there. So same kind of faces, which I suppose is going to be what we have to get used to with only 16 players around. Playing very well so far. I don't believe the German offense has turned over at this point. Their O-line.
Yep, they have been absolutely flawless and ruthless, although the last asking did take 24 passes. So the most pressed they've been so far all game as that one floats over to K.
K to Puttmuller. France changing whatever their first defensive look was. And that's all the way around the back. A good pull out of contact there. That's Muller to Duscher in the end zone. And you say the last point was 24 passes. That one, I don't know exactly how many it was, but far, far fewer.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Statsman Ed has all of the information for us. We'll just wait for that one to update on our system. Powered by Commentary Source, of course. The I was going to say love child, but it's not love child of Tom Styles.
Brainchild.
Brainchild, that's the one.
That's the one.
Although he does have a fabulous rap about getting frisky with a disky.
Moving on. That was a good throw by Nico Muller, that kind of like inside option. And it was 7 passes. 7 good passes. So we're back out with the French Masters O-line. We have a congregation at the end of every point.
We do. They're coming over to the video screen in front of us. We get a nice little shot of... so this time it was Muller and Beutenmuller. So Nico and... that's Michael, isn't it? Michael Beutenmuller.
Yes, that is Michael. So the German D-line coming back out. France's O-line with a nice point last time around, trying to repeat the trick. Good pull comes in, and France in their own end zone. In the center of the field. Some nice movement with Becca Chagnon. Doesn't like that deep look. And Nguyen comes underneath instead, and then sends it deep himself. Beautifully measured shot. Reeled in by Guibard. And that is another very good, very efficient point for the French Masters O-line. After some struggles early in the game, looks like they've kind of got to grips with things a little bit.
Yeah, you know, there's certainly a thing to be said about warming up yourselves into a game. Of course, Guibard there from Frisbee's Nantes. So one would gather, Sean, based over in Nantes, lovely part of the world, of course. But yeah, it's starting to really come together and vibe. I mean, we talked about the fact that this is the first time we've seen the Germany Open team really in a little while, but it's a similar thing for the French. Their Masters team hasn't been, you know, coming out at all the events and playing all the things. This is, you know, just part of their preparation. Of course, Euros this season, which will be in Italy.
Yeah, in Bologna.
You'll be there yourself, won't you, Sean?
Well, indeed, we'll be there with GB and Mixed Masters, so looking forward to that. Bologna in the autumn. I'm sure it's going to be delightful. There's a nice point from France there. You see just running those deeps hard, and that opens up the underspace twice. First for Pekka Chagnon, then for Nguyen, and opens up the deep space. And France back out on D to try and ask some different questions of this German O-line. I've talked a few times today about trying to ask questions as a D-line. You can, against elite teams, you can expect that O-lines are generally going to execute. You just need to kind of take them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
I'd like to see some force out, you know, force towards the outside of the pitch. Make them kind of, you know, push in those small channels and really show us how good they can be just grinding up the line.
This looks to me to be an FSU. We've got match mark on the handlers, but it's definitely a zonier look downfield. And Germany on that far sideline with Holger Wittmuller. Loads of space on this side for Greenwald. Greenwald with a blade over the top. Fairly close to a D there, but Holger Wittmuller clap catches it without too much stress. Breaks the mark to K. France switching to match. Nico Müller has his foot caught a little bit. Slap of hands, looks like everything's fine. So it's with Nico Müller in the center of the field. Stef Doscher on his right. And it's Gaffney in front of the disc, but it comes back to Doscher instead. Doscher back to Müller. Doscher hits the front cone, covered well. Müller comes back to Gaffney. Germany looking for something in the end zone. Gaffney looking to break them up, but not there. Nico Müller. Cavanu sticking to him like glue. But Nico Müller with that inside shot. Beautiful throw into Philip K. And there's another hold for Germany and another very impressive point for the German O-line.
Yep, and a fabulous way to take half. As you say, Sean, they haven't been broken yet or really looked wrong-footed at any point. A little bit of a collateral collision for Nico Müller, but all seems to be fine. We will try and get an update of the fallen comrade for the French Masters Open team. But as we take the time to look at some highlights of this game, anyone stand out for you in particular from the French Masters side, Sean?
It looks as though they're moving the disc quite well. The two Nguyen's, when they get the disc, are moving it nicely. Kevanu, the captain, obviously is doing a good job moving it. I think overall they've put in a pretty good performance here. They've kind of ironed out some of the little drops and throwaways they had early in the game. But the Germans at the moment look imperious. So it's going to be tough for France to get back into this. But the teams are taking a half. We'll take a break as well. And we'll be back with you in London shortly.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
Find your drive.
Find your drive. Find your drive.
Find your drive.
Hello and welcome back to London. We're here at the London Invite 2023 watching the French Open Masters against Germany Open. The teams apparently did not want as much of a break as we did, so they started a little early, but we've not missed much. So the French O-line back out to try and continue their nice little run here of scoring. So it comes back into the center. Guillaume. Guillaume looks to reset onto this near side to Zubair. A little bit of a miscommunication. Comes out the side of the field, and Germany's D-line are going to get an opportunity to convert another break here. So Marvin Valvogel comes to pick it up. Germany in a vertical stack. Two people going deep. But all they need is one. Samuel Buitenmuller reels that in. A one-pass break. Just a miscommunication turnover for France, and from there, Germany take advantage.
And our first clean break of the whole game, Sean. We've been waiting a little while for it. The German Open side choosing to stick to a continued charge of the same 7, more or less, or the same line. There's not too much crossover happening from the O-line to bolster the defensive unit for Germany Open. But, I mean, why not? If you've got the open shot and you can throw like that, Valvogel shoots and scores, and that will open us up with the break to start half in the second section of this game.
Yeah, it's a risky move, I think, particularly in a less than half-field situation to front a player like Samuel Buitenmuller. Obviously went to the World Games as an extremely good player, an extremely good athlete. So fronting him, giving Marvin Valvogel a window to throw into, he duly obliged. And here we are with the score now at 9-5. Germany re-establish that 4-point lead.
And deservedly so. They are definitely playing some very intense match defense. Haven't seen too much. We've seen obviously some different looks coming out from the French. They really are versatile. We've talked a couple of times about how they, are showing different defensive looks throughout a singular point, and the way they transition and communicate with each other certainly bodes well for later on this season.
It's a nice ball from Schultz. So France starting again with the disc. In the hands of Yellow. Resets to Nguyen. Great catch from Becca Chagnot under intense pressure from Valvogel. Back to Nguyen. Yellow again. Becca Chagnot. Little one-handed catch. Yellow inside, back with Becca Chagnot. France not really many options stretching the field here. They're having to play a lot around the back, but they're making yards. Smith again. Over onto the far side. Gibault. Marcon with the disc, looking for an option. Nguyen has gone back, has to lay out for it. Can't quite get there though. The throw around the mark, just a little too far. It's a shame. France looked like they had some nice movement there, but Germany just able to shut that flow down.
Yeah, one of the two Nguyen brothers really threw himself at that disc, didn't quite have the magic.
So Germany's D-line out again. Marvin Valvogel has touched the disc more than anyone in this game, I would guess. So running this D-line offense very well.
Yeah, that's not going to have very big odds on that being the biggest tally so far.
Marquardt back to Wolf, who puts it a little too far in front of Marquardt, lays out, can't quite get there. It's an unforced error from the German D-line there. And then France start quickly. Becca Chagnot into Gelot. Becca Chagnot goes deep, points to the end zone, but instead France come back. Nguyen to Nguyen. And back again.
There's a rhyme in there somewhere.
There is. And again goes deep to Becca Chagnon, who's looped around. Very good read. Had to adjust to that. Catches it over his shoulder. And France's O-line. Another slightly difficult hold, but they managed to hold it. And it's 9-6.
Yeah, it's not a firm grasp. It's more kind of just on the very edge of their nail beds being sort of, torn around by the... It's almost like, you see those videos of police dog training, Sean?
Yes.
At the moment, it's not quite a fully grown German Shepherd or Belgian Shepherd or what have you. I don't know what they choose these days, but they're all brilliant land sharks in my book. But it's like they've got a hold of the sleeve of the French Masters team, and they're sort of just shaking them around a little bit.
Right.
It's not quite a full-grown Shan yet, but it's definitely doing some damage. They're just about holding themselves upright, but I have a feeling as we get through this second half, that might start to change a little bit, and we'll see fewer of those turns being given back to the French as the Germans try and clean it up.
I agree. I think that's probably going to be the case. The teams have taken a timeout, so I think we will have a quick break as well. We'll be back with you very shortly. Bonjour, guten Tag, and welcome back to London. Teams took a timeout there. France wanted to have a quick chat after that offensive hold about how to potentially trouble the Germans here as we come back out. The German O-line so far, Hannah, has not been broken in this entire game.
Well, unsurprisingly, Sean, you look at exactly who's on it.
Nico Müller shoots deep for Stef Doscher, and Stef Doscher catches it under some pressure, but he had several steps there. It's a throw that's more expansive than some of the stuff we've seen out of the German D-line up to this point, but when it's that open, why not?
Well, you used the metaphor during the earlier stages of this match, Sean, of just moving their way through the gears. And at the moment, it's that thing of the Germans are just sat with such a big cushion, such a big advantage. I think they were solidly sat in third. It's a good working gear. It's not a high octane, but it's going to get you up the hill if you need it to. And at the moment, that just exactly that, just seeing the shots that it developing. Doscher, that was a little bit of a hang time, but he's a big athlete, very experienced.
Yeah, big boy, long arms.
And at the end of the day, they've got that extra bit of go-get ability. I think if you're in the French Masters camp right now, it's looking down the barrel of that 4-point difference and thinking to yourself, am I going to run and try and catch that, or am I going to kind of let him have it? It's a real test of your mettle, certainly. Not trying to say the defense stepped off there a little bit, but certainly you're not going to have that same sort of really gunning for it fight and attack for those sky battles. And for the Germans right now, yeah, we're sort of cruising down the Autobahn looking to close this one out as soon as possible, I think, to save those 16 legs.
Definitely cruising.
Not 16 legs, 16 pairs of legs.
16 pairs, 32 legs. Definitely cruising at the moment. The D-line been playing well, getting some turns out of France, but France back on offense to try and extend this out, put in their O to get back out and try and get back in the game. So, Yo, the disc on this near sideline, looking back, goes across the field, an expansive option, and it's another collision there. But everybody seems happy enough. Linnemanstund's just colliding a little bit with Romero, but everyone seems fine. Amadou on the disc. Amadou to Maurice. Maurice looking for an option. Back to Amadou and fires it in. It's a good low catch in the end by D'Italy. And France hold, and that's one of the more efficient holds we've seen from them in the last few points.
Yeah, taking a bit of rhythm and kind of, you know, learning out of the German, but definitely more passes required. You know, I don't think at any point you're going to see the German D-line take their foot off of the pedal. Huge grab there once more.
Yeah, it was an expansive option. There was a reset backwards that he would have had to come back and throw a break backhand around the mark. Would have been a challenging throw, but instead throws that laser across the field, well reeled in. And we look at the scoring throw here, fires it in, and it's a solid catch in the end zone.
So still requiring the France Masters to play at the edges of their offensive capabilities, but they hold it down. 12 passes required. Germans are opening their water bottles over the backs of their necks, so they're feeling fairly hot.
Yeah, feeling the heat. You look at the way the scoring's been spread around so far. France have really spread it around. There's only one player, I think, with 2 assists. There's a couple of players with an assist and a goal, whereas Germany, we have 5 assists for Nico Müller, 3 assists for Marvin Valvogel, and they've scored 10 points. So those two really controlling the lines they're on, although we see an O-line here that doesn't appear to me to have Nico Müller on it. So Germany diversifying slightly. So over here with Gaffney. Gaffney breaks the mark to Greenwald. Becker Chagnon thinks he might have a bite at it. Greenwald with a hammer over the top, and that is Germany's first O-line turnover of the game. So France Masters D-line has a shot at this now. Nguyen to Nguyen. Over to this near side, Marcon. Becker Chagnon goes deep. He has Gallo with space. Oh, and just can't really end under pressure from Stef Dosche. It looks to me as though Dosche has just about managed to put him off. I think he might have got a touch on that one, Hannah.
Yeah, hard to tell from sort of, you know, watching it being run down if it was a defender or the O-line player who got that touch with it. It was Gelot just kind of clasping at air with his fingers, brushing the disc forward that little bit, but a nice option to be taken. Just again, that confidence isn't quite there, I think, at the moment for the French.
Yes, their first opportunity to try and get a break and work the disc nicely up to that sideline, and Becker Chagnon with an aggressive option just can't quite bring it in. So Greenwald now brings it in for the German O-line at the front of their own end zone. France with another zony look. With Gaffney. Dosche clears the space in front. Back to Greenwald. Middle of the field, kind of open, but France just marshalling it well. Germany instead going round the outside with Gaffney.
Well, it is the thing that's made Germany look the most uncomfortable, is when they are being pushed to use the outside space, those, you know, thin edges of the pitch.
They've got some deep movement, but Greenwald turns down too. Not quite the angle there. Kay with the disc now instead. There's Gaffney. Dosche sets up his cut beautifully. Got space on the sideline. Gaffney with the disc. Becker Chagnon out to close him down.
It's a really solid switching in team defense. Again, the French showing that they are communicating and adjusting well.
Little offhand throw. And again, 2 offhand throws in a row, although there looks to be a call on that one. So the disc comes back to Buitenmuller. Sam Buitenmuller with the disc. Low stall. Stef Dosche right in front of the disc. You would imagine going to be looking for him. And there it is. Offhand throw. on that inside channel. Stef Pazzo reels it in, and the French, you're right, Hannah, they had some opportunities there. Nice switching D, good communication, made the Germans a lot more uncomfortable when you've seen them for pretty much the rest of this game.
Well, that is the key to, you know, defense does win games. You have to have, obviously, flawless offense performance if you want to be really sure of it. But the adjustments that you can make to take away your opponent, to challenge them properly, is, you know, key. I think probably a little bit too late in this game, but the French seem to have worked it out a little bit more again, just kind of, you know, squeezing and applying pressure just by hustling the Germans along the boundary lines of the playing field.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. These two teams are very different timelines, so I'm sure the French are still in the process of learning how each other want to play and getting to grips with each other, and playing against an opponent the level of Germany is going to do nothing but good for them as they continue in their season towards Masters Euros. But it's going to be fascinating to see how Germany, particularly this pretty short-lined Germany, match up against the Belgians and the British later in this tournament. So Waldvogel with the disc. Big pull. France field in their own end zone. It looks like a zony look from the Germany D-line here. Felix Martin definitely in that center field spot position. Three-person wall, but France finding the space. As I say that, almost a drop by Alès with a slight miscommunication going backwards, but he reels it in just about. It's with Leonard. Alès keeps it moving. Camels, and they go over to the far sideline there, through that wall now. Torreira to Ooh on the sideline, looking to get it off, looking for something. There's a pick called there. You could see that as Alès went up the line. Felix Martin had to stop to avoid a collision. So the disc will not stay with Carriel. I imagine it's probably going to go over to Ooh, or is Martin just saying it stays with Carriel and he catches up? Looks as though that's what's happening. So Martin catching up. France had that disc off the sideline. You can see they're set up in a stack in the end zone here. Felix Martin putting on the force. Alès comes across.
Of course, Martin also playing his club ultimate for Clapham this season.
And Alès to Kevin Ooh, who just beats Wolf across the front of the end zone for the score. Drops that left foot just on the right side of the tape to end the point. A nice point there for France's O-line. A slightly different look than we've seen from Germany up to this point as well, and they dealt with it very well.
So I don't think we're going to see this one go all the way to points cap out here, Sean, which is a testament, I think, to how much grit and determination the French masters have put into this game. They really have forced Germany's D-line to play some pretty high tally offense when they've got their break opportunities. Although, as we've said a number of times, cleaning it up a little bit now, but 21 the pass count for the French masters there to put that one to bed. Same tally required for the second asking of the previous point for Germany Open.
Yeah, I think that forcing teams to make a lot of passes, obviously generally a good idea for most defenses, but a lot of the passes in that zone were relatively straightforward, toss and catch. It wasn't until we got to the end zone where Germany broke into a match where they really started to put some pressure on, and it was some hairy moments for the French offense, but they pulled it through, and out comes the D-line to try and challenge this German O-line again. They got one turn out of them last time around, trying to do the same and go one better here and convert that break. Gaffney catches the ball. And here's Nico Müller back on the field, fakes that deep. It's a different type of zone again from France here. Looks like a 2-3-2. Philip K. Nico Müller goes deep, and when Holger Butenmeuler is going deep against a shorter player with a fair few steps, that is an automatic goal. He is about as safe as you're going to get in Europe.
Oh, well, I mean, we've already seen historic rare errors on this show pitch field in the previous game for the Open Division. Won't spoil exactly what that one was. If you've not seen it, you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch it, because you can for free on demand on YouTube for forever, almost. As much as any millennial can say forever.
Yeah.
Because we have no concept of it.
At some point, the sun will explode and kill us all, so you won't be able to watch it after that.
Will YouTube still exist?
Up to that point, who knows? Who knows?
When the cockroaches evolve and take over the infrastructure, I don't know.
The cockroaches can watch.
But either way, it would be extremely rare to see Holger come unstuck on that kind of, as you say, separation opportunity. It would be a truly rare beast. But you never know, Sean. You've said it, and as a commentator, we all know sometimes when we say things, they immediately become untrue.
Yes, decent point. I think France going to be relatively happy with how that point went. They made Germany play on the sidelines, as you said earlier, Hannah, pushing them out to the sidelines, making them play there, but a little bit of blown coverage, leaving Holger open in the end zone, not what you need.
Yeah, well, that is the thing, you know, when you are playing zone defenses that kind of, push out towards the edges, you do tend to expose yourself, especially in the deep space, in that sort of central section.
And going with the disc, Becca Chagnon has someone going deep, doesn't like it. We have Felix Mine poaching off on that far side. 2 defenders to 1 offensive player, so instead goes back to Nguyen. Nguyen to Becca Chagnon. An expansive throw to open up the field from Becca Chagnon. Gello with the disc, back to Nguyen. Gello just about picks it up off the turf. Becca Chagnon's carried on his movement. Very, very nice offensive flow here from France. Gello again. To Nguyen. The bid comes in too late. Can't stop the disc being reeled in, and that is a very impressive point for France. Really, really nice movement, and it didn't look at any point really as though Germany were able to slow them down there.
Yeah, no, finally finding some magic. I really enjoyed the work in sort of the handler section of the pitch, really just kind of activating each other, great communication, sort of like clockwork type timing, and there really wasn't much movement required downfield. I would like to see a little bit more hustle from the players in the end zone when you're kind of, that close to it, because that is when you have opportunities for defenders to sort of poach off and get sneaky bids and blocks and whatnot. But yeah, like you say, it seemed like they had a little bit of an injection of energy into that point.
Yeah, Becca Chagnon more involved in the handler space than we've seen him before. We've seen him kind of downfield, but he was touching the disc a lot there, opened up the field twice with 2 really nice break shots. And Nguyen there, he's been there all game, keeping it moving as well. It's number 24, Koavu Nguyen. It was number 14, Koaviet Nguyen, who caught the goal.
A brotherly connection.
Yeah. So France coming out on D. It looks as though Holger Butenmüller is the player who is getting a rest on the German O-line this time around.
He's done a lot in this game.
Yeah, he's
earned a little bit of time off.
Carried his fair share of weight. Gaffney catches the ball. Centers to Nico Müller. And a set play. Gets some space for Sam Butenmüller. Over to Gaffney. Butenmüller with a turnover. Not 100% sure what happened there. It looks like it came out the handle wrong, but
yeah.
The second turnover of the game for France.
Just a bit of failure to launch there, I think, for Samuel Butenmüller.
Yeah, second opportunity for France's D-line in the whole game. So last time around we saw them have a shot at the end zone and we had to take a good block from Germany to get it back. So how are they going to fare this time?
Yeah, that was Heartbreak Hotel. Can they do it this time?
Nice break. So Carriol with the disc. Goes to the end zone, and that looks like a broken coverage of some sort. Calmels is there with absolutely no one around him, and that is France's first break of the game.
Ho, 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 they've done it. Yes, we love to see it. A little bit of energy, a little bit of injection of pace into this, and I'd like that option, taking on the force, throwing to that break side, putting it out into the space, and Calmel is, certainly capable of running it down. One of the 33 tours, so 33 tours from Bordeaux. Of course, Bordeaux hosting a couple of teams looking very, very exciting so far this season. Saw them at Tom's Tourney in the second division final. Saw them out on the beaches doing damage. Of course, not quite getting themselves all the way
Yeah, it was a semi-final, wasn't it? They lost at Beach Clubs.
Indeed, after having a really, really intense matchup against Magic. No, it was Magic Disc that went into the final, sorry. Their semi-final was against Magic Disc.
Yes.
And I have to confess, it did seem to take every ounce of energy out of both squads, that semi-final. It had a huge local French sideline. It wasn't on our live stream, was a couple of pitches away, so I was walking over after having my breakfast. I got the late start that day. But a lot of talented beach athletes coming out of France.
And a roller pull stopped pretty much at the brick mark, picked up by Nico Müller. And that inside shot, there was a potential chance at a D there, but stays on his feet. And Germany are off to the races, run all the way down the field, and Greenwald reels it in to re-establish the German kind of hold on their offense. That was a very clean point, although, I mean, there was a little chance at a bid there. If he'd left his feet, might have been a little dangerous, so decided to not go for it. But France building some pressure. It's going to be good for Germany, I think, as we go through the rest of this tournament.
Absolutely. So our time clock has expired. I don't believe, Sean, have we had the tannoy announcement saying that time's over yet?
I've not heard it, no.
So we're a little bit ahead of time, fans.
Just means more Frisbee for you all to watch, and more time for you to listen to us. So what could be better? Don't answer that question. Don't answer that question in the comments.
Well, now you've said it, you're immediately going to be trolled, Sean. Have you learned nothing from commentating?
It's fine. It's fine. All comments about my rapier whip, please. Nothing else. So Germany back out on D.
White hot rapier wit.
And the France O-line has been playing well in the last few points. Been pretty clinical.
Yeah, they've been putting fuel on the fire and kind of, you know, just finding some things that work for them, which, I mean, that's got to be what this tournament is about, right? I don't think the French Masters are expecting to race their way up the standings.
It's a good pull, well chased, so France catching it in their own end zone. Looking for an option. It's a nice break. Over to Gibaud, and the deep shot goes, and Becca Chagnon has a lot of space there. Great shot, great cut. And that is a nice, efficient score for France, getting the German O-line back out there.
Well, Becca showing how much of an impact he can have in this match. Certainly, we saw him kind of, you know, be more active in the handler space when it was driven that way, and then, yeah, going and doing work in the end zone. But surely we'll be running out of time soon in this match.
Yeah, Becca Chagnon, one of the best players in Europe.
Oh, we're getting an update from Ed, the stats man, who actually has said that the time has indeed gone on this game. So this will be match point number 1 then for the Germans. We'll double check. I'm going to go double check, Sean, that that's what has been communicated to them.
We were too busy listening to my rapier whip, so we missed the call clearly. But
well, I got a sense that it had to have happened because we did ask. But I'm going to go find out properly.
Hannah, intrepid reporter, going to go and check that team's understanding of the situation is that the game is now over. But meanwhile, the French D-line is coming back out. Had a very good second half. They've managed to force turnovers out of the Germany O-line, managed to make it much more difficult on them, and obviously convert one of those turns as well. So they're going to be looking to continue that momentum a little bit. And it's another good pull. Philip Kay goes back into right at the back of his own end zone to collect it, and it looks as though it just about lands out. And so it is not Nico Müller who's going to go pick it up, it is Greenwald. And it looks as though it's coming to the brick, so the ball was too good, too far out the back. Would have done well at the pull competition at Windmill. This German stack is a long way away, Hannah.
Well, for the brick mark, it's not too far away. Especially when you've got Nico Müller isolated at the front of it, that'd be why.
Cavanu tries to come in and get a poach block there on that scuba, but Nico Müller secures it. But Nico Müller tries to go back, and almost a blind handout by Carayol, and Carayol going for the disc. Looks like he has been taken out by Greenwald. And they again make the hand signal for a contested uncontested. We need to have a word about what foul looks like. And it's going to be Carayol's disc. He's going to pick it up and bring it to the front. But Carayol basically had his hands out on the mark, and it just hit him in the hands. Oh, Carayol has to pick it up. There we go. Carayol picked it up. just hit him in the hands. It was a good active D. So Carriol on the front corner, comes back to Ooh. Ooh on the disc, looking into the end zone. France kind of playing a 1-6. There's no reset option out here, but now moving across the front. This with Leonard on the outside. And is that a call or someone falling over? It looks as though someone just fell over. Cavanu with the score, and that is another break for the French, and they are really picking things up in the second half.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Sean, the sun has emerged from behind the clouds, and Lady Luck seems to be smiling upon the French Masters team. This is this could go to universe, Sean, which if you'd asked me in the first half, I would have said no way. 4-point deficit against Germany Open.
Yeah, with Germany playing very well as well. The first half, their offense looked completely untouchable, and they were getting opportunities at breaks pretty much every point out. But second half, France have turned it up. It might be that, I mean, as we said, the Germans have 16 players. They've got a pretty short line here. Looks like they're playing with basically 8 on each line. So not too much rest for those players.
Yeah, but they have been starting to play a little bit looser, you know, a bit more kind of trying to route one offense, and it has paid off for them a couple of times for the Germans. But yeah, a couple of errors just creeping on in there. They know that it's a game to 14.
Game to 14, 13-12, and this French D-line is flying. We see Becca Chagnon with a disc in his hand. He's one of their best players, has been driving their offense on several different occasions, both with the disc and downfield. So putting him out on this D-line is a statement to try and go out there and get this break to send us to universe. The pull comes in, Gaffney fields it, and centers to Nico Müller. It's a zone look again. 2-3-2 from the looks of it. Gaffney with the disc. Germany very relaxed against this zone. They still look like they've got 2 people back in the middle here to K. Gaffney with the disc, just offside, just off center. France go to their secondary D. Gaffney with the disc now. K. Becca Chagnon is patrolling that deep space, so that route 1 that Hannah talked about, not available for Germany at the moment. Becca Chagnon's come under now, so K is in position here. Looks like we're coming in, stall 2 or 3, something like that.
Yeah, well, your remit certainly if you're Germany O right now is just to keep the disc. Play conservative, just slowly nibble your way towards the attacking end zone.
Sam Buttermüller with the disc, inside shot. Gets it to Gaffney. Turns down that deep shot. Michael Buttermüller coming under, but it's a nice inside shot to Stef Doscher. Doscher to Holger Buttermüller. Becca Chagnon tries to cover that break, but that leaves the open side wide open, and Philip K hits the front corner. Just about wiggles some space, catches the goal, and that is the end of the game for the Germans. 14-12 to Germany against France Open Masters. An impressive showing by the German team in the first half, but a second half comeback by France to make it a tight game. And in the end, I think that was a pretty even contest, Hannah. I think the French really pulled themselves back into it.
Yeah, they definitely did find some extra sort of magic towards the end of it. I think that, again, finally the adjustments on defense started to really pay off, just kind of confusing the space and putting that consistent pressure. You know, in that second half, we started to see them push them up against the lines, use the zone in a more creative way to try and just close up those channels, not allow the big athletes of the German Open side to just run around in big shapes and big spaces. It was really just a game of just squeezing that pressure, and some lessons for Germany Open to learn about maintaining their spacing and not getting suckered into things, and timing as well. A couple of little bits of, you know, cutting under each other there, the defenders still being in the space, not having cleared out because they weren't on themselves clearing out quickly enough. But a good performance for both sides, and certainly excited to see how far they go in the rest of the tournament. Of course, the Open division is split into 2 pools. Both these teams are in Pool MB, and that was a 1-seed, 3-seed game.
And here's the stats. As you see, 19 turnovers in a 26-point game. Pretty good, quite clean. 10 clean holds from Germany Open. As we saw, they had pretty much, was it 8 or 9 in a row until closer to the end of the game there. But 2 clean breaks for the France Masters Open. So when they got chances, they were able to convert them pretty well.
Absolutely, and they got so close to the one that they didn't get.
Yep.
That was literally just off the fingertips, I think, of the receiver. So certainly a team to watch later this year in Bologna.
They certainly are. Good performance from France, good performance from Germany. We look forward to seeing more from both of them this weekend and beyond. But for now, that is the end of this game. We will take a quick break from streaming here, but we'll be back for
quite a long break.
Well, true. We need to have some food, so we'll do that. But we'll be back to bring you more of Germany Open. It'll be Germany Open against Belgium Open later on. So we're taking a break. We will see you soon. Thank you for joining us. I have been Sean Colfer.
I've been Hannah Pendlebury.
And we'll be back soon to give you more action from the London Invite.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.